Hey you guys, Mickey here. I hope you're doing well. This video is about catching roaches and feeding them to chickens. So I recently brought some chickens out to the property. So I've got 11 young birds about 10 weeks old, and I just finished feeding them dozens of roaches from a little roach trap. Now, I had heard of the roach traps in a coffee can with some grease along the side, but what actually prompted me to go and re-explore and get into it was this container here, which was in the bee shed, and it had coconut oil in it, and I don't even remember how or why, but it had residue of coconut oil, not anything major, but it got left out, and I came back to find a lot of roach skeletons. And so that would make me think, wow, you know, I can catch this resource pretty efficiently. You know, this had no bait, no anything, just greasy sides, and they were all trapped and killed. And so last night I went and did my first iteration, my first experiment. So not here, but in the outdoor kitchen. I put these 3 jars, and I was kind of just researching to see what would work best. Now, this is the one that I just finished feeding the chickens. This is the one that absolutely worked the best, the smallest size jar. These are the others, and all I did was I put chicken feed in the bottom, and I smeared some old grease around the top. I had some way outdated, not being used Crisco. So this one you might be able to see best because I didn't put grease all the way to the bottom. But basically, the trap is designed so that the roaches don't have enough space to fly, but they can't climb out because of the grease sides. And in the bottom, I just put the chicken feed. I said that. So if I tip it sideways, they're probably going to fly out. We'll see. They'll be able to run for it. But the traps work. Now, these 2 larger traps did not work near as well as this smaller trap. This smaller trap was so full of roaches that they were literally climbing out because they were on top of each other. There were so many, and that's what I just fed to the chickens. Should have shared it, but that's okay because the bee shed here is loaded with roaches, and so I'm gonna set them up again tonight and be able to document. I'm gonna finish emptying these, feeding, and I'm gonna set up more of these smaller ones. Now, my observation or my inference is that the smaller one was more successful, possibly because of the ease of climbing the sides. It's got this ribbed diamond pattern, and also possibly it was more successful because it seemed less threatening, as far as a roach might have this, you know, consciousness or cognition that, hey, this might be dangerous to get in and out of, whereas this seemed less. So it could be that the smallest, the half-pint mason jar is like the go-to from here on out. So yeah, I'm gonna bait them with just chicken food again. I don't think bait is that big of an issue with roaches. I think they pretty much go for anything and everything. But yeah, I'm gonna line them up here. I'll leave the tripod and come back in the morning, so we'll see. All right, you guys, it's been a little less than 24 hours, and I'm excited to check these traps. I have not seen it. All right, so I did a lot of iterations. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different traps, and I actually did more experimentation. So the first ones, these 2 are out in the open to see if there was a difference between being open and being up against a box. This one up against the box, the bigger one, only has 3. The difference between these 2 out in the open was this one on the right had wet feed, and this one on the right, left was drier. Now, I don't know if you can see from there, but this is what I experienced the other day. So this is, you know, dozens probably, about 24 roaches. I would have to tip the camera. Let's see, I might just move you guys so you can get a peek without them all flying out. Oh no! We got an escapee. He's still going to feed the chickens. I got him under my foot. So all of these traps, all of the traps have some roaches in it. So these two was an iteration for size to compare to the smaller. This is also got dozens on the left. Now this one was a cool experiment. So this one I put the chicken feed into the grease because I thought maybe them seeing little handholds would get them to climb in better, but that they couldn't hold their weight. They would all fall off. And this one has smooth sides. So these were identical except for that, and I think this one showed that to be a good strategy too. Here's another smaller one that was pretty successful. Now this one had wet feed and also bee spray sugar water. So lots of roaches in here as well. All told, let's see, there's just when you thought they were done. Now these two are very close up against the wall, small containers, and they both were quite successful. I forget, I think the difference might have been wet and dry. See, me and my science. I pseudoscience because I always lose track of things. But both of these, I mean, this one is another probably 20 roaches. He's almost getting out. The littlest tip. So I would have lids handy if I wanted to, you know, keep them for food. But basically, it is quite the haul of tree roaches, and so it's time to go over and feed them to the chickens. It's feeding time. Look at all those yummy roaches, and you're just waiting to get them. So I've been using hand feeding at first to kind of control it, but these birds, they know roaches now. They're excited. Jump, jump, jump. Get it off my finger. Oh, that was a good jump. That must have been Fly. Fly is the bug catcher extraordinaire. You gotta spot him. Come get it. Come get it. They're on me. Save me, save me. Who's gonna get it? Oh, right off the bottom. Alright, get this one. Who's gonna jump? Now, I'm doing the hand feeding because that's how you train young birds. Don't go out. That's how you train young birds, but I think you could also have a system where you could dump them in. If the birds were well trained, they would, I should put it closer to you guys. I don't think a single one has gotten away so far. These two might. They're gonna get away. They're gonna get away. There they go. Get them. There goes one. Two more left. That's it. Get them out. Got one. Get them out. Get it. Get it. Get it. You want that one? Alright. No more roaches. So, yeah, as you can see, it's been fun, and don't go out. Don't go out. There's opportunities for improvement. This is the door. I'm just sitting in the door. No, don't go out. Not right now. We'll go out later. Hi. So, the birds are fun, and if I can feed them roaches, which are just in abundance here, it just is less energy on feed and a more efficient system. And roaches can be a nuisance for the bees getting in the colonies themselves or in the equipment chewing on the wax. So I'm excited to continue experimenting. So if you enjoyed the video and you enjoyed the chickens, then give it a like and share it around. And I'll catch you guys next time.